Across the valley of Elah, a tense standoff unfolds as the armies of the Israelites and Philistines face each other, the air thick with anticipation. Fear grips the Israelite soldiers, their shoulders slumped under the weight of impending battle. A heavy, suffocating tension blankets the valley, foreshadowing the conflict to come. The demoralized Israelites await their fate, their apprehension palpable in the still air. In the valley of Elah, a giant emerges, his shadow casting a pall over the battlefield. Goliath's armor shines like a second sun, blinding and formidable. His every step shakes the earth, a testament to his unmatched power. Goliath surveys the battlefield, his gaze promising destruction and despair. In the valley of Elah, Goliath, a towering giant, casts an imposing shadow, dominating the landscape. His booming voice reverberates through the valley, a challenge that strikes fear into the hearts of the Israelites. Goliath bellows, "Choose a man to fight me. If he wins, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us." The Israelites huddle together, their faces etched with terror, as Goliath's challenge hangs heavy in the air. Inside the tent, King Saul's anxiety fills the space as he paces restlessly. His advisors gather, their expressions mirroring the king's despair. The weight of leadership presses heavily on King Saul as he stops, his brow furrowed in thought. Silence blankets the tent, broken only by the king's heavy breathing, as solutions remain elusive. Under the vast sky, David, his face serene, begins his solitary task. He watches over his father's sheep, the flock dotting the green hillside. His voice rises in a hymn, the melody echoing through the hills, a peaceful offering to the vastness around him. The sheep graze quietly, undisturbed by the soaring melody, as if blessed by the song. The gentle breeze carries David's hymn, weaving through the landscape. The hills respond with silence, amplifying the purity of his devotion. Under the harsh sun, Jesse hands a heavy sack to David, his face etched with serious command. David accepts the load, his youthful obedience a stark contrast to the weight he now carries. With a determined shift, David hefts the sack, preparing for his journey into the vast unknown. David walks down the dusty road, his figure receding into the valley's distant horizon. David arrives at the valley of Elah, the air thick with anticipation and dread. The faces of the Israelite soldiers reveal a landscape of fear and despair, their eyes reflecting the looming threat. David observes the soldiers, his expression hardening as he witnesses their palpable fear. The weight of the impending battle settles upon David, the soldiers' terror, a heavy burden on his shoulders. David stands at the valley's edge, his youthful face now a mask of grim resolve. Goliath's challenge booms across the battlefield, shaking the very ground beneath David's feet. A fire ignites in David's eyes, fueled by a righteous fury that burns away all doubt. David's voice rings out, cutting through the taunts. "Who is this Philistine to defy the armies of the living God?" His words hang in the air, a gauntlet thrown down before the giant and his army. The Israelite camp pulses with life as dust motes swirl in the air. David stands before his older brothers, their armored figures a stark contrast to his youthful frame. "David, what are you doing here? You should be home tending sheep. I have come to see my brothers and bring you provisions, but I will not go home. Not yet." David's eyes blaze with defiance. Inside King Saul's war tent, news arrives of a young boy's audacious challenge to face Goliath. King Saul listens, a look of disbelief clouding his face. Despite his skepticism, a flicker of curiosity sparks within the king. Saul decides to grant the boy an audience, a decision that could alter the course of destiny. Inside King Saul's tent, apprehension hangs heavy as dust motes dance in the dim light. Saul's emphatic gestures reveal his deep-seated fear. Saul turns to David, his voice laced with doubt and disbelief. "You are only a boy," Saul declares, his tone a mix of warning and disbelief. Saul continues, "He has been a warrior all his life." The weight of Saul's words fills the tent, amplifying the tension. Sunlight floods King Saul's tent, casting a divine glow upon the scene. David stands tall before King Saul, his eyes radiating unwavering faith and youthful resolve. With the conviction of a shepherd, David declares, "I have killed lions and bears protecting my sheep." His voice resonates with unwavering belief. "The same God who helped me will help me defeat this giant." Inside King Saul's tent, weariness hangs heavy as Saul gestures towards a daunting pile of armor. Saul relents, offering the armor to David, who steps forward with hesitant determination. David struggles, his face strained, as he attempts to lift the heavy breastplate. The armor overwhelms him. The helmet slips, obscuring his vision, a clear mismatch of strength and size. With a sigh of defeat, David sets the cumbersome armor back down, his spirit undeterred. David approaches the stream, his eyes scanning the stones. He kneels by the water's edge, carefully selecting the perfect stones. Each stone is examined, its smoothness tested against his palm. One by one, the chosen stones are placed into his bag. The bag bulges slightly, holding his arsenal of smooth stones. David stands, his bag now weighted with purpose. In the valley of Elah, David strides forward, armed with only his sling and stones. Goliath looms, a giant of a man, questioning, "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" David advances, resolute against the taunts of the giant. Goliath scowls, his challenge hanging heavy in the air. Under the radiant sun, the valley of Elah becomes the stage for an unlikely confrontation. David, a young shepherd, faces a heavily armed warrior. With unwavering resolve, David declares, "You come with a sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord Almighty." David proclaims, "The battle belongs to him." In the valley of Elah, youthful David sprints towards the looming Goliath, his every step a challenge to destiny. Amidst the vast expanse, David's hand dives into his bag, seeking the perfect stone. His fingers close around a smooth stone, hope solidifying in his determined grip. With practiced ease, David retrieves the stone, readying his sling for the impending confrontation. The sling begins its deadly dance, arcing through the air as David prepares to unleash his courage. In the valley of Elah, David's sling whirls, a stone soaring towards its colossal target. The stone strikes Goliath's forehead with deadly accuracy. Goliath reels from the impact, his immense stature momentarily faltering. The giant begins to fall. Goliath collapses to the ground. In the valley of Elah, Goliath's colossal form falters, the earth trembling beneath his armored weight. A moment of stunned silence hangs in the air as Goliath begins to lose his balance. The giant stumbles, his massive frame starting to descend. With a thunderous crash, Goliath falls, his armor clattering like a death knell across the valley. Goliath lies prostrate, his armor echoing the finality of his defeat. Panic erupts across the valley of Elah as the Philistines' terror turns into a chaotic rout. The once formidable army scatters, their disarray painting a picture of utter defeat. The valley floor becomes a scene of desperate flight as soldiers abandon their posts, their fear palpable. A complete collapse of order ensues, marking the end of their campaign in a whirlwind of dust and despair. In the valley of Elah, the Israelites' triumphant roar echoes as they surge forward, a wave of righteous fury. A sea of soldiers advances, weapons glinting under the sun. The Philistines, in panic disarray, scatter before the relentless onslaught. Dust billows as the battleground transforms into a chaotic chase. The valley reverberates with the sounds of pursuit and the cries of the routed. Victory is at hand, the momentum undeniable as the Israelites press their advantage. In the valley of Elah, bathed in the fading light, David surveys the scene of his victory. The sun dips low, casting long shadows as David stands triumphant. Against the dying light, David raises his arms in a gesture of triumph. The valley echoes with the silent declaration of victory as David's silhouette stands against the twilight. Under the cloak of night, the Israelite camp pulses with unrestrained joy. A colossal bonfire erupts, painting the night with fervent shadows. Voices blend into a powerful chorus, echoing ancient songs of freedom. Figures become silhouettes as they whirl and leap, surrendering to the euphoria of victory. The camp transforms into a haven of celebration, each movement a tribute to their hard-won triumph. Inside King Saul's tent, a profound respect begins to bloom. Saul's eyes reflect a newfound admiration for David. The tent is filled with unspoken acknowledgement. The air is thick with the weight of admiration. A silent pact forms between the king and the warrior. As dawn breaks, David returns to his flock, his heart overflowing with gratitude. Humility washes over him as he surveys the vast land before him. The rising sun casts a golden glow, illuminating a world of endless possibilities. In this moment of quiet reflection, David understands that with faith, anything is within reach.